Hi everyone, welcome to the channel dedicated to sharing the profound insights and wisdom of Andromedan contactee Alex Collier. If you're new here, you're in for a journey that expands your mind and consciousness, bringing you closer to understanding the messages from the fifth density Andromedan extraterrestrials. For those returning, we're grateful for your continued support. Before we dive into today's enlightening content, we have a small favor to ask. If you find value in the knowledge shared in this video, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your engagement helps us amplify Alex Collier's message, allowing us to reach a larger audience with these vital messages. We'd also love to hear from you, so please engage with the comments below. Whether it's a question, your thoughts, or even just an emoji for the sake of engagement, every comment counts. We read every single comment, and your feedback is incredibly valuable to us, as it all contributes to our mission of expanding this community. So please don't hesitate to leave your thoughts below. Additionally, if you'd like to support us further, consider giving a super thanks tip by clicking the heart with the $sign. This small gesture allows us to continue bringing you more of Alex's messages, unfiltered and directly from his lifelong experiences with the Andromedans. Today's video includes a compilation of several of the many important questions Alex Collier has received over the past few years, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video.
What will the QFS do to the stock market?
I don't exactly know what that's all going to look like after the global reset of each nation's individual currencies. The Great Reset that Klaus Schwab and the Rothschilds and all of that, what they wanted to do was to create one single currency which they would control, and then they could just fuck with everybody, And you were either in or you were out. You were either controlled or you were not. And if you were not, you were going to starve because they would lock you out of it. That is not going to go down. They're doing their best to try to make it happen, but that's all they have left. And that's the fiat currency system. They would just make it up. They would just digitally create money out of nowhere. And they would just, they were going to reset everything and start all over, but it would end up in the exact same place. It would be the exact same system, except none of us would be allowed to own any private property, not even a frickin' bicycle. We would have to rent it, and as long as you behaved based on what their standards were going to be, which we know would change day to day, then you would be allowed to survive. Fuck that. That doesn't mean we go out and we hurt anyone. That's not what it's about. And that's not what I'm advocating. What I'm advocating for is genuine freedom of expression, freedom of thought, freedom of ideas, freedom to travel, freedom to explore, freedom to be yourself. That's what I'm advocating. And the ability to live on a planet that you were born on. Okay? Without, at some point, having to pay for that. We're not there yet. We simply don't know how to live without a currency system. At least 98% of us. So there's going to be a transition to that reality. We're not there yet. But to just have to survive, that's not a life. It's not a life. What is it that we want? What is it that we really want? Okay? We have to put ourselves at the head of the table. But we have to tear down the old system first. We have to allow it to collapse on itself with all of its corruption. But when we rebuild, which is absolutely coming, we have to be at that table. Do you understand? Whether it's local, state, national, provincial, whatever it looks like in your country, we, the people, have to be at the fucking table. We have to be. We have to have the voice. We have to have the leadership. We don't let anyone else call the shots for us. And that means empowering humanity. And when you remove all the bullshit, all the prejudices, all the biases, ladies and gentlemen, we pretty much all want the same thing. We really do. Okay? We just have to let all the bullshit go and focus on humanity. And I know we can do it. I absolutely know we can do it. You know, we just have to remove the obstacles to it, which is what's happening. And we have to demand that we have a place at the table. And we don't accept no for an answer. We just don't accept no for an answer. Okay? The military, for all the wonderful things that they're doing and are doing continuously to protect humanity, when this is over and the threat is removed, humanity has to still be at the head of the table. Do you understand? An empowered humanity is the way forward for all of humanity. And in protecting each other, do we remain free? What makes other star nations successful and prosperous and evolving is the fact that they see each other as a member of their family. They see humanity as one organism, as one unit, as one family. They don't feed off of each other. Ever. And because of the system we've been living under, we have been feeding off of each other. It was the only way to survive. That ends in heartbreak. And suffering. So we have to do something else. That's why we have to be at the head of the table.
Is NESARA GESARA real? If so, when will it happen?
Well, I know NESARA is. I hear GESARA is. and it is happening. It's very quietly and slowly being rolled out. That's part of the currency system, the reset to into an asset backed. This is not the socialist where we're going to forgive all your debts and you will not be able to own any private property or anything whatsoever, and you'll be happy about it. That's not what's happening today at all. You're just going to have to wait and see. We will know very soon. You know, enough of the infrastructure of the dark cabal has been removed. You're just going to have to wait like the rest of us to see it all come about. I know it's real. I know it's real. I have to tell you, I get everybody's jaded, and I get we're all impatient of about wanting change. But I also want to point out that most of humanity has not been paying attention to what has been going on. So the layers and layers of shit that had to be cleaned out, be destroyed, the corruption of every institution on this planet, the process to remove all the sleaze. It's just taken a long time. And it was done in such a way to try to protect as many people as possible. Would I have done it differently? I think so. Would I have revealed more ahead of its time? Maybe. But you see, I don't know everything that's going on either. I know more about what's going on off-world than I do specifically about what's going on, underground with the dumbs and everything else like that. But there are people on the planet that have that information. For example, Gene Decode. He's incredible when it comes to that type of information about, what's going on with the dumbs, because that's his lane. Those are his connections. And he's very good at that. And then with the special ops and the things, there are several people that come to mind, but, they're in a tough spot. They can't reveal classified information or things of that nature because they're ongoing ops. And they wouldn't want to jeopardize anyone's life by revealing any piece of information that no one should know. But I know they know. Michael Jacob would be one of those. He's very connected. And in his way, he's sharing a lot of information. But being an intelligence person, and a SEAL, a special ops guy, he knows the importance of how these operations are ongoing, and what it takes, and the risks that these guys are taking. So he has to be very careful as well. If there was one thing out of everything that I know, if there was one thing that I would change, I'd have taken down the fucking media first. I'd have taken them down. I would have blown those buildings up. That's the first thing I would have done. To just let them out there lie and keep twisting people up into a knot, that doesn't sit right with me. It never has. But there has to be a reason. There has to be a reason. I absolutely know there's an alliance. I absolutely know they're directly involved with Space Force. I know that Space Force and missions on this planet involving all the militaries of many different countries, They're here doing it. And they're working together to do this. I know this. I know this. Which is why I'm upfront and telling you, this is why I take this stand. But it has taken longer than it was meant to. It has. But you know, we have been controlled and manipulated for 6,000 years. In the grand scheme of things are moving really, really fast. They really are. But for humanity, we look at everything as, well, how much time? How much time is it going to take? As opposed to do it right, do it the first time and do it right and finish it. And it takes as long as it takes. But, we're so conditioned, schedules and this and instant gratification that we don't always appreciate everything that goes in to an operation like this, to literally change the entire controlling structure of a planet, removing the people and the extraterrestrials that were involved as well. We have to consider all of that as well, folks. We do. And you can go negative field with it, you can remain neutral, or you can go positive. That choice, that decision is yours. It's always yours. But for me, I'm not negative field about it. I'm not even neutral. I'm absolutely positive field about it. And that's where I'm going to remain, with or without anyone else. And I respect your decision no matter what it is. Things will turn on a dime. Literally, things are going to turn on a dime. And I get we're all sitting on the G. We are. We're all sitting on that G, and we are just waiting for that O to roll up. So when that does, it's go time. And everything will change, just like that. And you're going to be like, holy shit. Because once it starts, information's going to roll, and so is change. And I mean a lot of change. A lot of things have to change. For us to go from where we are now and the way we've been living and the way we've treated each other and the way we see ourselves to becoming part of the galactic family, they're not night and day. They're Hoboken, New Jersey to universal consciousness. That's where we have to go. And I'm sorry to pick on Hoboken, New Jersey. Okay. That's what it's like. I mean, that's the leap we're making. And I know many of us were tired. We're really, really tired. We're physically tired. We're emotionally tired. We're financially exhausted. And we are spiritually just like, oh, shit, please, let's get this moving. Because those of us are vintage, we're on timelines. Our life expectancy, our timelines. And we've been doing this a long, long time. Waiting for everybody to catch up. I get all that. The financial system is changing. Okay? The currency system is changing. That's a massively positive change in the world. Otherwise, the thugs and the creeps, the pedophiles, all that, they could have kept just the old system. They could have just kept the old system. You know, we nobody would have been any of the wiser because no one was listening to the conspiracy theorists. So they could have just left it the way it was. But that's not what happened. They could have kept everything underground. They could have kept doing what they're doing to the kids. But that's not what's happened, is it? No one would have ever known about the secret space program except the conspiracy theorists. Well, now we have an actual space force. Those are all positive signs, whether you realize it or not.
Hello, Alex. There has been speculation that in addition to JFK Jr. faking his death, that his father, JFK Sr., also did the same. Can you elaborate? Thanks.
I have heard that. I have heard that. I have absolutely no proof that President Kennedy survived and that what they put with him was a clone or a double. It makes no sense to do that and actually have the real First Lady sitting next to him in a motor car where shots are being fired from at least 4 different locations. So I have an issue with that. As far as John Kennedy Jr., it's my understanding that they heard or suspected a hit was going to be put out on him and his wife by those connected to the Clintons. There, I just said it out loud. And they wanted to make sure that that wasn't going to occur. And that would be the reason for faking his death or their death in a plane crash. They knew that the plane had been rigged, but they decided to go through with it for any one of many different reasons. And then just watch the tentacles spread from the Clinton Foundation and others. You know, politics anywhere today on this planet is a full contact sport. It really is. And I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but here in the United States, as long as you are in the House of Representatives or the Senate, you can say anything you want. You can lie as much as you want. You can say just about anything and they cannot be prosecuted, which should tell you everything about politics here in this country. And then everybody acts shocked and surprised when when they find out what's been said is not true. I mean, they actually have a law that allows them to do that, and it covers their ass. So, you know, and then we have the media that literally just makes shit up. Um, so, or read the script that the CIA gives them, the Mockingbird Press. So, again, that's another reason why we need to start gathering information from within, trusting, rebuilding and trusting our own intuition. And, the information that comes to us feeling the information, not analyzing it mentally, but first allowing ourselves to feel the information, to feel the quality of the information and the resonance of the information that comes to us. Because today there's so much information everywhere that it's very, very easy to get distracted. And that's not a good thing at this point, to get really, really distracted. We need to be focused on what's happening now in the present moment. Because that's where we're at, is in the present moment. This is where we're creating what it is that we want, what it is that we want to draw to us. And as long as we're present, as long as we're cognizant about the decisions that we're making and what we're thinking about, we can remain, in a very grounded, centered space, as opposed to being drawn into something that's generating fear that may or may not be true at all. But this is a battle not only for consciousness, but for also energy, our energy. That's why they created the Matrix, was so they could get us to create the reality they wanted. Not what we wanted, but what they wanted, which was domination and control and manipulation. And they were very, very successful for a very long time. Now that we're waking up through the assistance of outside sources and internal sources, now their solution is, well, okay, now we just need to get rid of them and replace them with AI or robots or something else. So again, that should tell you everything about the power structure that we allowed to put itself in a place and then manipulate us. Every government on this planet should be by the people, for the people, and of the people. Nowhere does it say for the elite. Okay, and literally we abdicated that authority. We the people, we all over this planet, we abdicated the authority to these people, to these groups, to these banks, to these multinational corporations to make decisions for us. Because we got lazy. We just flat out got lazy. And, look at the last 2 years, what we've all been through. And, we can't allow this to happen anymore. Ever. We just can't. So we have to change our perspective and how we look at the management of our civilization. We, the people, we, humanity, have to be not only sitting at the table, we have to be the majority at the table. End of story, period. Forever. And we have to make sure that future generations that take our place at this table, using the laws of consistency, know everything, so they will not be fooled or trapped or manipulated into abdicating their authorities to protect humanity to private interests. Okay, that's my rant.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found it insightful, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on future updates. If you have any questions relating to today's video, please also leave them below. We read all the comments and take on board what our viewers have to say about Alex Collier's work. Remember, your support helps Alex Collier's knowledge and the messages from the Andromedans reach more people. If you'd like to support the channel even more, you can give us a super thanks tip by clicking the heart icon with a $sign. It really helps our team bring you more content. Also, be sure to visit alexcollier.org to sign up for our regular email newsletter. It's the best way to stay updated with the latest news, exclusive content, and upcoming live webinars. For the latest insights from Alex Collier, check out alexcollier.live. And if you want to explore over 250 past webinars, head over to alexcollier.tv. Thank you for being a part of this journey and supporting Alex Collier's work. We couldn't do this without you, and we're genuinely grateful for your support. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the vast mysteries of our universe. If you would like to see the Andromedan contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we hold a live online seminar every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information on upcoming live webinars, please visit alexcollier.org.